What is up, guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy what you are seeing. And in today's video, we are putting 3 of Roblox's best MMORPG games up against each other to see which one is truly the best MMORPG. And without further ado, let's get chaotic. Okay, so before we get into the actual games, I will be ranking each game and scoring it based off of a few things. One is just, is the game fun to play? Is it enjoyable? 2, how good is the replayability of that game? Can you play it multiple times from the start of the game and still have fun each time? And 3, how good is that game's community? Because the community of a game really says a lot about how good that game really is. If it has a bad community, then that game is probably a pretty toxic game, maybe not the best game, but if it has a very good community, that game is obviously pretty popular. It's a very good game. People have fun playing it. They like playing with other people on that game. It's a social game. So that's why the community of the game really says a lot about the game. But without further ado, the first game we are going to be checking out is going to be Sword Burst 3. Okay, now, Sword Burst 3 is a pretty popular Roblox MMORPG. It's based off the anime Sword Art Online, which personally, that's definitely one of my more favorite animes. It was a pretty good anime, and the game definitely speaks up for it, because this is also one of my more favorite games on Roblox. I do have a few actual videos on this, but I'm sort of just grinding my way through the floors. Now, a feature I'm sort of judging that I didn't actually say back there was I'm also going to be grading how often they do updates. Like, if they have frequent updates, if they update every month or so, but it's pretty big updates, or if they do like more small weekly updates, that's all also going to be part of how I'm scoring them. But Sword Burst 3 is a very good game, and for replayability, you can definitely play this game a few times on more than one account, because there are multiple type of weapons you can do, multiple builds you can go for abilities. There are 7 different types of weapons in the game, and almost every time they add a new floor, they add a new weapon that you can get from that floor. Now, just for that, I'd say for the replayability, it's like a good 8 out of 10, like a good 8 out of 10, I'd say, for replayability. The only thing that's about that is that the grinding does take quite a bit. So if you play it over and over again, it will definitely get tiring over some point, because the grinding does definitely take quite a bit to do. Because I can definitely say that myself, because I'm level 64, and it probably took me a good 5 to 10 hours of grinding to get here. No joke, took me like 5 to 10 hours to get here. All my videos are only like half an hour to an hour on this game, but I cut out at least an hour of grinding for each video. So grinding definitely takes a bit. That's why I'm only giving like a 7, 8 out of 10. But for updating, they do updates pretty often. They update a lot of, like, almost every week for like quality of life updates, just sort of like bugs, fixing bugs. Maybe they'll add a few events every now and then. But for when it comes to floors, the one thing that people are always looking for, they add a new floor almost every month. Like every month and a half, they add a whole new floor for people to explore. And then just the week after that, they add the final boss for the floor, which is in that tower over there. So the first update is them giving us the floor for us to explore, and then at the final update is them giving us the final boss for us to fully try and fight, which I like. I like how they aren't putting it all into one update, sort of spreading it out. So for updates, I'm definitely giving it a 10 out of 10. they do pretty good with the update log. Update every like one big update every month. That's good. And some smaller updates every week or so. That's also pretty good. So that's why I'm giving a 10 out of 10. But out of enjoyability, so like I'm thinking like graphics, is it the fighting fun? Are the abilities cool? Graphics good? Are like the graphics good? Like right now, as you can see, the graphics do look not bad for a Roblox game. The fighting though, the fighting is pretty good. You can see how almost every monster in this game has a custom moveset, and the bosses in this game are also pretty cool. I'll try and show you a quick clip, really quick of more of an earlier boss. But yeah, the fighting in this game is pretty cool. The abilities themselves are also pretty cool. They're all unique abilities for each different type of weapon. They all have almost all unique abilities. There are a few abilities that go to every weapon, but aside from that, there are all a few abilities that, as you can see, are only for certain weapons. Like this one right here is only for the scythe. This one only for the scythe. That's for all of them. That's for all of them. That's only for the scythe. And yeah, as you can see, they all have special weapon types, special abilities for each weapon type. So this game, definitely, I'll give it like a 9 for enjoyability. The only thing that I'm taking the point down is, once again, the grinding. It gets tiring after a bit. That's why it sort of takes the enjoyability down a bit. But a 9 is still very good for enjoyability. Okay, and last thing we're scoring them on is the community. Now, in my opinion, this game has a very good community. They have their own Discord server, which you can see right here, where they take any kind of suggestions from the community. You can see right here. These are all players from the games giving their opinion on what they want to add. You can see people looking for people to play with, people looking for guilds to join, those trading, people answering questions about the game. So this community is very good. They're very open with each other. They're very friendly with other players, which I think is all a community really needs. It's just a bunch of friendly players. So once again, on community, I'm giving them another 10 out of 10. This really shows how Sword Boss 3 is really just a pretty good game. Like, as you can see, if you scroll up actually to game announcements, you can see how often they do updates. This just shows that they have a good update log. That was back on the 13th of last month, September. That was a few days later, 17th. And then the next day, 18th. And then we got 2 days later, the 20th. And then we got the 25th, the 27th, 27th again. The 1st, just an update about how Floor 7 is coming. And then yesterday's when Floor 7 came out, and here it is. Yeah, this game is definitely one of my favorite games on Roblox, to be honest. Like, I'm not trying to, like, give it my pity. I'm not trying to give it a good score just because it's my favorite game. I just feel like that's the score that this game deserves. Okay, so that would mean that Sword Boss 3 got a 37 out of 40 total points it's able to get, putting it in first place, considering that's the only one we've actually done yet. And the next game we're going to be talking about, which, as you can probably see down here, is Davis of Creation. Now, I actually have absolutely no idea if I'm saying that name correctly. I hope I am, but I just cannot promise anything. But okay, the first thing, the updating, I think it's okay. But as you can see, there's the update log is right here. That's already in the game. These are the ones that are coming soon. But to be honest, this has been the exact same for the past, I think it's been 2 weeks now, and nothing has changed. So that's the only thing. Like, if I were to go over to Roblox and see when the game was last updated, Roblox is saying that this game has been updating in the past 3 weeks. Now, to be honest, I hope that it's a glitch. I honestly hope that it's a glitch and it has been updated, because I can see so much potential with this game, but since I am being told that there hasn't been a single update in 3 weeks, that's I'm gonna have to give this game a 6 on updating, because I just think that a well-made game, should be getting updates almost like every other day. Like, not big updates. Like, I'm talking about a big update every single day. That's just not possible. I'm talking like just quality of life updates, just like fixing bugs, fixing glitches, like almost every other day or so. Like, that is what makes a game a popular, a good, a well-made game. Is that you gotta always be fixing the bugs, fixing the glitches. You can't go like 3 weeks just leaving all the bugs and glitches in there. But like, as I was saying, I hope it's a glitch, because I hope that Roblox is glitching, because this game has so much potential. I hope that they don't throw it away. But let's just get into the other ones, where we're going to be talking about the gameplay. Is it fun? Is it playable? Is it enjoyable? Now, in my opinion, I also have videos on this game, and this game has one of the best fighting systems, or fighting, like, I don't know how to word it, fighting systems, fighting styles of any. Can you load? God, why is it taking so long to load? Okay, I was just loading for maybe like 5 minutes. See, that's why you have to update your game more often, so that things like that doesn't happen. I was on the loading screen for 5 minutes. That is not good. But as I was saying, for gameplay, is it enjoyable? This game is definitely, it's a very fun game. It's not like Swordburst, where you have to keep doing the same quest over and over again to level up. This game goes on a story. There's a story mode to this game, pretty much. You do a quest, finish that quest, and it leads to a new quest, new bosses, new enemies, and you'll never have to fight the same enemy in a quest more than once, most likely. And there's all these different weapons, all these different cool abilities for the weapons, as you can see. You can have 2 weapons at a time, which I really like. As you can see, I'm going a great sword and dagger build right now on this account. The fighting is pretty clean. We got the back dashes, we got double jumps. You can, if you're running down a hill, you can slide if you wanted to. The fighting is good, the health balls, all that looks good. Enemy drops, everything in this game for fighting just is very good. There's parrying, blocking, like just everything is just good about this game. No matter what, I can't really find anything about the fighting that I don't like. Just blocking, if you get lucky, you can parry like that, and that sort of stuns them for a second. Now, I'm all over there, so I kill these guys very fast, but the enemies do sort of give you some trouble, depending on how high your level are. This game is definitely a challenging game. It's a skill-based game, so you gotta be able to actually parry and do everything at the right time, or else you're about to get absolutely destroyed by like the first boss you fight. But compared to that, I honestly really like it. I'm not the best when it comes to skill-based games, but I personally really like this game. I really like the fighting. The fighting in this game is amazing. The skills are good. The UI, all that's good. So I'm gonna give the gameplay like a 9. I'll give it a 9. Only reason I'm saying that is because I feel like the game starts off pretty slow. It starts off with you just doing a bunch of sort of like gathering quests. And I know for a lot of people that are looking for a fighting game, if they join a game and are hit with just a bunch of gathering quests, they aren't gonna last long in that game. They're gonna leave in like a few minutes, because a lot of people, they just want to fight. They don't really want to just go gather some wood, gather some fruit. They want to kill some boars. They want to kill some monsters. They just, I know for personal experience that a lot of people aren't the biggest fan of gathering quests. So, in my opinion, I wouldn't start off a game with just straight up gathering quests, because that would definitely lead to people leaving your game before they actually hit the good part of it. So that's the only reason I'm giving it a 9 and not a 10, is because they might have lost a good amount of players because of the gathering quests. Okay, but when it comes to this game's community, now that's where it gets a bit complicated. Now, to be honest, I would grade this game's community like a 6 because this community for this game is very toxic. Like, not even joking. Just to sort of verify, get someone else's opinion, because I was sort of going between what I should grade this for community. I went into the Discord and I asked the group chat of the Discord what they would grade this game's community from 1 to 10. And someone there said that they would give it a 5 to 6, literally because of how toxic the community is. So I'm gonna have to give this game's community grade a 6 out of 10, which it really ain't the best, but it's not the worst, I guess. Just, it's very toxic for a Roblox game. Now, the final one, the replayability. This one, just a bit higher than the community. I'll have to give it a 7 out of 10. Now, the only reason why it's a 7 out of 10 is because, yeah, you can have more than one character, but after you do the story once, and you know the entire story, in my opinion, it would get kind of boring to do the exact same story over again. Like when Windows games, you can do all these side missions, like change the story based on the choices you make. It's like a full open world game. Now that I understand. Okay, but for the replayability of this game, just a bit higher in the community, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Now, I give it a 7 because, yeah, it's a pretty good game. You can play it a lot, but you can have more than one character too. You can have, I think it was like 5 characters at the time. But if you beat the game, you beat the story mode, you beat all of that, I feel like, in my honest opinion, I feel like it would be kind of boring to do the exact same story that you just beat all over again. That would get pretty boring pretty fast. I mean, yeah, if there were a bunch of side quests you can do, like if you could change the story based on the choices you made, then yeah, that's different. But considering its own story that's gonna happen no matter what you do, that gets kind of boring replaying. The only reason I'm not giving it like a 4 or a 5 is because of all of the different weapons you can go. That's the only real thing you can change on a second playthrough, is the weapons you use and the class you go. That's like the only thing you can change, is the weapons and whoever you're playing as. Okay, so Devis of Creation with a final score of 28 is going in second place, leaving Sword Wars 3 in first place, and leaving everything up to how World Zero scores with everything I am doing. So let's hop into the final game and let's see how this goes. Okay, so here we are in World Zero. What do we have in store for you? Now, I'm pretty sure this game sort of gives me Sword Boss vibes, because it has different floors that you can go to for beating the final boss on the first one. But what I like about this game is that you don't really have to do the same quest like 10 times like Sword Boss. But let's see, which one do we want to start with? I guess let's go with updates. How often do they update? They do pretty often updates. The only thing that I would like to change is that they don't really do too many like big updates. They mainly do quality of life updates. I don't know the last time we got a new world or floor, whatever you want to call it. I don't know the last time we got a new actual floor. The only updates they really do now are quality of life updates and maybe a few like events for Halloween or Christmas. So for that, I'm gonna have to give updates like a 7, because they sort of stopped updating the actual game and were just doing like bug fixes and events. Like, that's the only thing that's sort of pinning it down and not giving it a 10 out of 10, is that they aren't really giving any more big updates. So I'm gonna have to give updates a 7 out of 10. Now for gameplay, I'm already pretty sure it's gonna get a pretty good score, because the gameplay in this game is very good. There's a bunch of classes you can choose from, all with abilities like that. All these abilities for each class. There are so many classes in the game that you pick out of these three at you start. Going to 15, you can pick one of those three. 35, 1 of 60. All of those classes. All of them have different abilities, different ultimates, different buffs, different debuffs, everything like that. All the fighting is good. There's all of these dungeons too that you can do, all the special boss fights. So for that, I think this game obviously deserves. I'm very confident that this game deserves a 10 out of 10 for gameplay. No doubt in my mind that this game deserves a 10 out of 10 for gameplay. Okay, so let's go to replayability. As I just showed you with all these special classes, the replayability is very high. Very high. But I think I would have to give it like a 9, mainly because this is a very big game, so it will take a very long time to fully beat it. And I know there are quite a few people that after a certain amount of time for playing a game for so long, they sort of just get bored of that game, which I completely get that. That's the only thing that I would take it down, is that you might stop playing the game after a bit because it just gets boring, but you can definitely replay it more than one time because of how many classes there are. So I'm giving this game a 9 out of 10 for classes. Not classes, for replayability. And now for the final one, which is going to be the community. This game has a very good community. It's all very social, very open. It's not very toxic because this game doesn't really have too much PvP or player versus player. It's all more player versus everyone or sort of teams. There's no just like one-on-one duels, 2v2s. Like, it's not competitive. That's what I think is the reason the community is not as toxic as other games. Is that it's not a competitive game. It's more of a social teamworking game, which makes it have a community worth of a score of 10 out of 10. Okay, so it's a final score of 36. Just barely losing to Swordburst 3. We have World Zero in second place, putting Devis of Creation down to third, meaning the final standings is in first place we have Swordburst 3, in second place we have World Zero, and in third place we have Devis of Creation. Now, if y'all disagree with these standings, make sure to comment down below your opinion on my graph right here. Not really a graph, more of a table, but as I was saying, if you disagree with this, make sure to comment down below your opinions. Comment down below any MMORPGs you think I should include in some future videos. If y'all enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and I hope to see y'all in the next one.